Today, collectors across the globe recognize the 1955 wheat penny as a cornerstone of American numismatics. It is often used as an example in coin books and guides to illustrate how minting errors can create some of the most valuable coins in history. The doubling is so pronounced that even beginners can identify it, making it accessible to new collectors, while still being a prized possession for experts. Now when it comes to value, this is where things get exciting. On platforms like eBay, prices for the 1955 double-die penny can vary dramatically depending on condition. Circulated examples often fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars, while uncirculated or high-grade examples, certified by grading companies, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. At major auctions, pristine specimens have even exceeded $50,000, making it one of the most lucrative pennies ever released by the U.S. Mint. What makes the market so active for this coin is not just rarity, but also popularity. It's one of those coins that every collector dreams of owning at least once, which keeps demand alive year after year. Even collectors who normally don't specialize in pennies often make an exception for the 1955 double die simply because of its iconic status. If you've ever come across a 1955 wheat penny, it's worth checking closely. Even regular 1955 pennies in uncirculated condition can bring in more than face value, but the double die version is the real jackpot. Imagine finding one tucked away in an old coin jar, passed down through family, or hidden in a forgotten collection. As for selling, many collectors turn to platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and Stax Bowers, where the demand is always strong. Certified coins from grading companies like PCGS or NGC often bring the highest prices because buyers are assured of authenticity. So, if you happen to own one of these, it could be a life-changing discovery. Like I mentioned earlier, this coin might just turn the tables for you. But here's the twist: rather than giving away the exact value right now, I want you to comment the word price in the comment box below, and I'll personally tell you its current market value and guide you on the best way to sell it for maximum profit. This way, not only will you learn what your 1955 Liberty wheat penny is worth, but you'll also discover how to turn this small piece of copper into a significant payout. So make sure you drop a comment, because the journey of this coin isn't just about history, it's about opportunity.
Coins World, the channel where history, mystery, and value come together in every coin we discuss. Today we are going to dive deep into the story of one of the most fascinating coins of the 20th century, the 1941 Liberty wheat penny. Now, before we get into the details, let me tell you this: if you happen to own this coin, it might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end of the video, because I will share how much this coin can be worth in today's market, and how you can sell it for the best price. And at the end, I'll ask you to comment the word price in the comment section, and I'll personally tell you its real selling value and the exact process of how to sell it safely and profitably. The 1941 Liberty wheat penny was minted during a turning point in world history. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but the conflict was already raging across Europe and Asia. The production of this coin took place under those looming circumstances, giving it not just monetary value, but also historical depth. Every penny struck in 1941 carries with it the weight of a nation preparing for one of the greatest struggles in human history, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse side of the 1941 Liberty wheat penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1941 it had already become a national symbol of honesty, unity, and strength. The design remained unchanged, giving this coin a sense of continuity and tradition, linking Americans through generations. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays two wheat stalks arching along the edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above sits the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. These wheat stalks symbolize prosperity, labor, and growth, a theme that resonated deeply with Americans who were still recovering from the Great Depression while facing the threat of another global conflict. The 1941 wheat penny was struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins bore no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins carried a small D, and the San Francisco coins a small Collectors often look for these mint marks, as they can greatly influence the rarity and value of a coin. In terms of production, the numbers were staggering. More than 887 million pennies were minted in 1941, making it one of the most common years for wheat pennies. But here's the twist: while the coin might be common in general, the real treasure lies in its variations, mint marks, and above all, its condition. A 1941 penny found in your pocket change today may not be worth much more than a cent, but in high grades, or with special errors, it can fetch impressive sums. Error coins are particularly fascinating. In 1941,
we're diving into the fascinating history of the 1937 Liberty Wheat Penny, a small copper coin that carries with it incredible stories of America's past, the artistry of coinage, and the excitement of coin collecting. By the end of this video, you'll see why this coin is so special, and how some rare varieties can reach impressive values among collectors. The 1937 Wheat Penny belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person, breaking away from symbolic figures like Lady Liberty, designed by Victor David Brenner. The coin's obverse shows a striking portrait of Abraham Lincoln. On the reverse, two stalks of wheat frame the words 1 cent, which is why collectors fondly call it the wheat penny. The year 1937 was a time of recovery for the United States as the nation slowly climbed out of the Great Depression. Coins from this period were essential in everyday life, often circulating heavily through small purchases, groceries, and wages. The penny was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it its rich brown or reddish appearance. This alloy would remain standard for wheat pennies until World War II, when the 1943 steel penny briefly replaced copper for the war effort. The San Francisco Mint, as each mint left its unique footprint on the coin, making certain mint marks more desirable. The Philadelphia Mint struck the largest number of 1937 cents, making them the most common. Denver and San Francisco issues were produced in lower quantities, giving them extra appeal to collectors. The total mintage for all 1937 pennies exceeded 309 million pieces. While this makes the coin common in circulated condition, high-grade specimens, especially with mint red luster, can command very high values. Collectors are especially drawn to the San Francisco 1937 penny. It had the lowest mintage among the three, although still not a rare coin. Finding it in pristine condition can be challenging. Like other wheat pennies, the 1937 coin reflects the artistry of early 20th century coin design. Brenner's depiction of Lincoln is lifelike yet symbolic, capturing the president's thoughtful gaze. Interestingly, many 1937 wheat pennies are found with a range of natural colorations, from deep brown to vibrant red. The redder the coin, the higher the value, as it indicates less oxidation over time. One of the most thrilling aspects of the 1937 wheat penny is the possibility of discovering mint errors. Collectors always hunt for unusual varieties, as errors can multiply a coin's value. Some coins were struck with off-center errors, where the design is shifted noticeably away from the center. These are popular finds and highly collectible. The 1937 wheat penny reflects a fascinating era in American history. It was struck during the latter years of the Great Depression, a time when every cent carried weight for families struggling to survive. For many, these pennies were more than coins, they were lifelines, used to purchase bread, milk, or basic necessities. Minted in three locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1937 penny offers collectors a wide range of mint mark varieties. Each mint tells a slightly different story of production, quality, and demand during that year, making the coin's legacy even richer. The obverse of the coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile, symbolized national unity during tough economic times. By 1937, Lincoln's image had already become a powerful emblem of perseverance, justice, and the hope for recovery. The reverse design, known as the wheat ears, represented American agriculture and prosperity. The simple wheat stalks were not just decorative, they were symbolic of the nation's backbone, the farmers and workers who fueled the economy. One of the most exciting aspects for collectors is the existence of mint errors from 1937. Some coins were struck with double dies or off-center impressions, making them extremely valuable today. Such mistakes were rare but are now highly sought-after treasures. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of 1937 pennies, which makes them the most common. 1978, a small yet powerful piece of history that carries with it an incredible story of design, economy, and national identity. Though it may seem ordinary at first glance, this coin has layers of heritage that many collectors overlook, and its story is so engaging that it will make you see this coin in a completely different light. The 1978 5-cent coin belongs to a significant era when many nations were transitioning in their coinage systems, reflecting the challenges of inflation, modernization, and changing cultural values. Coins like the 5 centavo in the Philippines, or the 5 cents in countries like Australia, the United States, or Canada represented much more than their face value. They were the everyday currency of working families, the jingling change in pockets, and the symbol of economic resilience. In a decade of global change. By the late 1970s, the world economy was facing shifts caused by oil crises, rising production costs, and debates about the future of smaller denominations. Yet governments continued to produce coins like the 5-cent piece to maintain balance in the monetary system. In the Philippines, for example, the 5 centimo coin minted in 1978 was part of the second coin series introduced under the Central Bank of the Philippines, designed to create a modern identity for the nation as currency after independence and the earlier changes following World War II. This small bronze coin bore the profile of a Filipino hero on one side, a patriotic reminder that even in everyday transactions, people were carrying a piece of their nation's history in their hands. On the reverse side, the coin featured the official seal of the central bank, a powerful image of stability and trust at a time when economic challenges were mounting. Meanwhile, in countries like Australia, the 1978 5-cent coin featured the iconic echidna design, which had become a beloved image of national pride since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966. The coin was made of copper nickel and, though small, its durability ensured it would circulate for decades. Collectors today often appreciate these coins for their craftsmanship and the fact that they remind us of a simpler time in everyday trade. The American nickel, also valued at 5 cents in 1978, was another fascinating case. The Jefferson nickel design had already been circulating for decades and was widely recognized, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. By 1978, billions had been produced, but sharp-eyed collectors look for unique minting errors, doubled dies, or unusually well-preserved specimens that can fetch much higher values today. In terms of circulation, the 5-cent coin was incredibly important in 1978. Whether it was used to buy candy at a corner store, pay for small bus fares, or contribute to larger sums in markets, the coin's